Welcome back to Love Your Food. Today we're going to show you our take on toad in the hole. Now the traditional toad in the hole is sausages baked into a Yorkshire pudding batter. As you can see here, we do a little bit more like a deep dish pizza almost. So we're going to make our own sausage, starting with ground pork. We've got a shallot, garlic, some hot peppers. We have a few spices there: oregano, thyme, basil, fennel, and a little tiny bit of rosemary as well. We've also got a white onion, some broccoli. Now this is our tomato sauce from our tomato sauce video, which you may have already seen, and some mozzarella cheese that we're going to grate for the top. To make the batter, what we're going to need is flour, a little bit of salt. We're going to put a little bit of our ghost pepper relish in there as well, and some Dijon mustard. We'll also need 2 eggs and some milk. All the quantities, of course, are going to be in the recipe below. But let's start with our sausage. So first we're going to get all of our veggies chopped up here. We're just going to give a nice fine chop. We want to make it pretty small. We're going to make the sausage in a pan. We're going to put the nice aromatic vegetables and herbs and garlic into the pan first, just to wake it up a little bit, along with our hot peppers. Now, if you don't have dried hot chili peppers, you can also use chili flakes for this as well. Now, these are just some Thai bird chilies that we've dried ourselves. Some nice local produce we got from someone we know who grew them. But yeah, any hot pepper that you'd like to use in there. You can even use a little bit of cayenne or something like that. Or if you have, dried chipotles or something like that, you can also do that. So we're going to put a little bit of bacon grease in our cast iron, and a little bit less bacon grease in our skillet. Now the cast iron is, we're going to put that into the oven to get that nice and warm. That's going to be where we put our, where we're going to make the whole casserole at the end there. And then into some nice warming bacon grease here, we're going to put our garlic and shallot mixture. Now, you can use your favorite high smoke point oil for this as well. We just happen to be using bacon grease because we have it on hand. But, yeah, any of your favorite. You can put canola. I wouldn't usually recommend olive oil, but you can use olive oil for this as well. And we just want to give that a little saute in there, just to get a little bit warm. Wake up all the spices and everything, and then we're going to put our pork in there as well. So we're going to spread that out, get some nice contact with the pan. And now we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Now, if you don't want to use pork, you can use beef for this. You could even use something like ground chicken, ground turkey. Just keep an eye on your cooking times. You want to make sure it's cooked but not overcooked for poultry especially. It gets a little bit dry. So there you go, salt and pepper to taste. Now we're just going to get that a little bit browned on one side. Want to make sure this is cooked through. And already this is really starting to taste or starting to smell like Italian sausage. It's really got the flavor profile of a hot Italian sausage. So once the pork is cooked all the way through, much like we did with the pasta bake, we're just going to move it to one side of the pan because we're just going to get a nice sear on one side of it. And in that nice pork grease, we're just going to cook our broccoli. That's going to be the vegetable for our deep dish toad in the hole. So we can start by putting some of the stem parts in here because they will take a little bit longer to cook. Now, as far as the vegetable goes, the sky's the limit here. We can put anything we like in there. We've done it with zucchini and eggplant. We've done it with mushrooms. We've done it much like a pizza in the past, actually, where we had pieces of tomato and peppers and all that sort of thing as well. So this one, we just happened to have some broccoli on hand, and we're all big fans of broccoli, so we decided we're going to do broccoli. So once that's all in the pan, we can start working on our batter. So we're going to get the salt, well blended into the flour. And we're going to add our eggs. So 2 large eggs into the batter. If you're using extra large, you may need to use a little bit more flour. Now this is our ghost pepper fermented relish. We are going to do a video on this probably a little bit later in the year when we can get some fresh peppers again. And here's our Dijon mustard as well. Just going to beat all that together with the eggs in the middle there for a second. And then once those are a little bit blended together, we're going to add the milk and mix our batter. You can use a fork for this, or you can use a whisk. Whatever works best for you. And you just basically want to keep stirring that until it's mostly smooth. Try to keep as much of it inside your pouring vessel as you possibly can. And here you go. It's starting to look a little bit like pancake batter at this point. And that's our Yorkshire pudding batter right there. Now, as you can see, this isn't taking a huge long time. It's actually goes really, really quickly once you start adding all the ingredients together. A fast beat with the fork here, and it's mostly smooth. And that can sit for a little while once it's finished, which it is now. So we're just going to let that sit for a little while we come back to our veggies. A little bit of salt on that broccoli, pepper to taste. Give it a little stir. Let's mix it together with the pork, which you can see has a really nice brown sear on the bottom of it there. And remember, for the broccoli, if it's still pretty al dente, if it's not quite cooked all the way through, don't worry. It is going to cook more in the oven, because this is all going in the oven. So now we're going to add our onion. Give it a little stir, and we don't want to overcook the onion because, as I said, this is going to all go into the oven and cook a little bit more in there. So we're just going to basically get it all nicely blended in there. So we've got the pork, essentially our Italian sausage, the broccoli, and the onion, just a little bit. Now we're going to add some of our tomato sauce from our previous recipe. If you like it really tomatoey, you're welcome to add a little bit more sauce. You can do this up very much like a deep dish pizza and add a whole bunch of tomato sauce if you prefer, and cheese and any of those toppings that you like in there. Now we maybe used a pan that was not quite big enough, but I don't know, it all came out alright. Only a little bit escaped. So there we go, get that tomato sauce nicely blended in there over the heat. And that's the filling for our toad in the hole. All set, that's done now. So what we're going to do next, we're going to pull out that preheated cast iron with that nice hot bacon grease in the bottom. And you can see it there. And in goes the Yorkshire pudding batter. So as you can see here, it's going to fill the bottom. Now, as soon as that hits the hot pan, it is going to start to cook. You can see it sizzling around the edges. It is already starting to cook at the bottom there. So what we're going to do is immediately put our filling in and just push that out to the edges. And what it's going to do is it's going to push the Yorkshire pudding filling, or the Yorkshire pudding batter, up the sides of the cast iron. And just really make a nice deep dish, almost kind of casserole here, with the Yorkshire pudding batter and that nice pork, broccoli, onion filling. And that's going to go into our oven. And that's currently about 355, and that's going to bake for about half an hour. And once it's done, it's going to look pretty similar to how it looked when it went in, honestly. As soon as I focus on it here. There you go. We see the batter nicely firmed on the outside. Everything is set. And there's only one thing left to do, and that is to cover the top with cheese. So as you can see here, we've grated our mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to give that a nice good coating on top. Spread that around. Again, you can use any kind of cheese you like here. We're using mozzarella. Any good melting cheese is fine here. Other good choices are things like Emmental, Gruyere. You want to stay away from some of the oilier cheeses like cheddar. But, you know, everyone's got their favorite melting cheese. If you want it really spicy, you can even add a little pepper jack in there as well. So give that a nice spread. Make sure it's all covering the top of our casserole. And careful, that pan is hot. Goes back into the oven. And we're not going to change the temperature or anything. And that's going to go for another just 5 minutes. Get that nice and melted. So after 5 minutes, here's what it looks like. Now, if you want it a little more brown, if you want it a little more toasty on top there, then you are welcome to, you know, put it under the broiler for a little while, get it nice and brown. And this is what it looks like. So you can see that nice gooey cheese on top, that nice sausage, broccoli, onion in the middle. So please let us know what you think of this. Please like and subscribe if you like our videos, and let us know in the comments if there's any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try. And remember to love your food.